Well, hello, this is Mike from Music City, and welcome to our latest installment of Ranking Records. Today, we're going to look at the artist who I claim to be my favorite artist of the 21st century, and that's Mr. Jason Isbell. And Jason has put out 7 fine solo records since he left the band The Drive-By Truckers, and I just think Jason is probably the best songwriter in the business today. He's also a great guitar player, a great live performer with a great band, the 400 Unit. I'm fortunate to live in Nashville and get to see Jason play a lot. We've been having an annual residency at the Ryman. Last year he played 7 shows or 8 shows, I can't even remember, but they seem to keep adding shows every year. It's the last week in October, and I think I'm up to 35 Jason shows now, and just love going to see him play live. But we've been holding off on this one for a while, waiting for his new album, Reunions, which came out a couple of Fridays ago, and it took me a while to get through the mail with this COVID crisis that we're going through, but I got it and needed to spend some time with it and see where I was going to slot in the new record, and we came up with something there. Now, this, without a doubt, is the hardest record ranking that I'm ever going to do. I just really think that he's put out 7 fine records, and it's just really an exercise of fun and just trying to, sort them and how much I like them. And I think I'm finding that more so that's happening as a result of favorite songs and not necessarily disliking anything. And so who am I doing this for then? Well, for Jason fans, and there's a lot of them, and I know that some hardcore fans hopefully will see this, it's kind of a fun exercise to do to see where we think the albums may rank. And then secondly, just trying to introduce Jason to those who may not know about him. There's a lot of people out there that just say, oh, I don't like country, I don't like Americana. Well, I'm really going to suggest to you that you give Jason Isbell's music a listen. I think it's got a much broader appeal, and I think just his songwriting craft in itself, it should open it up to a lot more people who might shy away from it, and also the brilliance of the 400 Unit, just one of the best bands out on the road today. And for me, they remind me a lot of my love for the E Street Band and what they did for Springsteen. I think these guys are just top notch, and they're just really helping Jason have his fantastic career. So without further ado, let's look at these 7. And again, there's no bad record in the bunch, and just for argument's sake, we're gonna put them in an order and see what we come up with. But number 7, I'm gonna put his second record, which is titled Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. And again, I don't have any distaste to this album. Some great songs in there. I love the song Cigarettes and Wine, a nice slow country ballad that he does live in the show. Street Lights, another fantastic song. 7 Mile Island, really good songs. And I'm going to kind of point out some of the songs that you might want to check out if you want to go explore these albums. A good place to start. These all have been reissued, and this one includes Jason's cover as a bonus track of a great Big Star song called When My Baby's Beside Me. So it's kind of worth getting that one for that bonus track as well. Number 6, Jason's third solo record, and this one's called Here We Rest. Probably has one of my favorite Jason songs on here, and that's Alabama Pines. Jason is from Muscle Shoals, Alabama, as is most of the band. And interestingly enough, Alabama Pines, when this came out, won the Americana Music Award as Song of the Year in the year it came out. So quite an honor for Jason. It's also got the great song Codeine on it, which is a great song in the live set where the band gets to hillbilly out, where Jason's wife Amanda, who is in the band, plays some great fiddle on it. Great record. Also, it's got Tour of Duty on there. One of Jason's other very well liked and live performance songs. So that's that. Now, and then for number 5, we're going to go with his debut record, Sirens of the Ditch. Now, I did go back and I re-listened to all of the Jason records before I did this ranking, and this one just really blew me away. And I don't know if I would have ranked it you know, as high as I did had I not heard it again. I just think it's just a great record with some well written, well crafted songs. I love In a Razor Town, Dress Blue, another song that's popular in the live set about someone Jason knew who died in war. Very touching, very well crafted, well written song. Now, if we stop there for a minute, those three albums predate a couple of key events in Jason's life that, in a very favorable way, impacted his music. One was his sobriety. Congratulations, Jason. Very proud of you for that. Second was his marriage to the lovely Amanda Shires, who also, as I mentioned, is a member of his band, the 400 Unit, and a well-respected artist in her own right. And then the third thing was hooking up with producer Dave Cobb. Now, Dave Cobb is spread quite a bit through the Americana music scene here in Nashville, but there really is a special kinship between he and Jason. And I don't know, in my mind, I sort of want to liken it to the relationship, and I'm going to keep mentioning Springsteen here, who is one of my favorite artists, but kind of sort of with Springsteen's relationship with John Landau. I really don't think that either one of those people, you know, Cobb with Isbell and Landau with Springsteen, you know, revolutionized their music or their sound or made any dramatic changes. I just think that in both cases, and let's talk about Jason's case, I think he just found somebody that he can help him make the album that he wants to make, and I think Dave Cobb's contributions to Jason have been tremendous. Now, there's been 4 albums, you know, with Cobb, and to me, this is just amazing when you think about it, that the 3 records that he did with Cobb before the latest one, all 3 of them won the Americana Music Award for Album of the Year, and each one of them had a song that was the Americana Song of the Year. Now, come on, that's pretty remarkable. And if you don't think that's enough, the last 2 of those 3 albums won for the Grammys, Americana Album and Song of the Year. And then if that isn't enough, the last album crossed over and won a CMA, Country Music Award, for Album of the Year. So Jason's getting some well-deserved recognition. And just before we get in and rank the 4 Dave Cobb albums, just, you know, again, if you don't have to be an Americana lover to love the music of Jason. If you appreciate good songwriting, a good rock and roll band, I think you will really like Jason and the 400 Unit. So let's get in and go through the let's get in and go through the 4 albums of the Dave Cobb era. Number 4, I'm going to go with the Nashville Sound, and that was the album previous to the latest one. Fantastic record. I love songs like Last of My Kind, which you really can see a little bit of that John Prine influence on Jason, where maybe his songwriting's a little bit clever and good stuff. Some good rockers on here, Cumberland Gap, Hope the High Road, and of course the song that won the awards that year, and just one of the greatest songs he or anybody else has ever written, If We Were Vampires. It's just a very touching story. Kind of, you know, gets the mind thinking about, you know, growing old with someone you love, and the fact that, you know, one of you is going to die before the other. Oh gosh, he's got some, you know, just some really touching lines in that. So number 4 in the Dave Cobb area, but just a great record. Now, next, number 3, we're going to go with the latest album, Reunions. And boy, I felt for Jason, there was just such a lot of pressure when you've got 3 albums that had come out that had been that successful, winning all these awards and all these things. I mean, the pressure to put out a great record is just got to be heavy. And he came through, and this record is fantastic. Now, I hope that a lot of you saw the record release performance. If not, it's out on YouTube, live from the Brooklyn Bowl here in Nashville, where Jason and Amanda played to an empty audience and did these songs the album in entirety in acoustic versions, and it was so great to sit there and focus on the lyrics. And then it was even so much better to go into this record and hear just the embellishments that the 400 Unit put you know, behind the songs, and just you know, making that great complete sound. What do I like on this record so far? I really like the last 2 songs on the record. It's Getting Easier which is another song about sobriety and letting you go. Just a great song about having a baby and taking the baby home from the hospital. I just love it. Maybe a little bit of that John Prine again. And then St. Peter's Autograph, a great song, a tribute to the late musician Neil Casale, who Jason and Amanda were friends with. Very touching song, very, very clever analogy to getting St. Peter's autograph at the Golden Gate instead of taking your own life. But that's that. That one, number 2, we're going to go with Something More Than Free. The album just prior to the Nashville Sound. Go listen to 24 Frames if you're afraid of Americana. And man, it just reminds me of REM. Just what a great song. And that was the award-winning song of that year. Just so many good songs on here. I love Speed Trap Town, Flagship, a great song about a love relationship that it gets a nice quiet treatment in concert with just he and Amanda. So that's my number 2. Number 1, no surprise, Jason's career-defining record, Southeastern. I'm afraid it's going to be hard for him to ever get beyond this with another masterpiece. It just happens sometimes. It's always going to be my number 1 album. Got the nice autograph there at the Grimey's in-store record release back when it came out. It also has his career-defining song about sobriety, Cover Me Up, a song that he does every show. He will do it every show. It's his Born to Run, like Springsteen. He's going to do it every show, and it's a showstopper. It's brilliant. But on top of that, we've got in addition to that, we've got the marvelous song about a cancer victim, Elephant. Just what a brilliantly written song. Jason sometimes just amazes me how well he crafts lyrics. Great rockers on here, Stockholm, Super 8. I know a lot of people don't like the song Super 8, but man, if you ever stayed in a Super 8 motel, you know exactly what he's singing about. But just a great record, and if you're going to start with Jason, I would recommend starting here. I do want to round out a little bit and show you a few other things if you're really into Jason and collecting Jason. There's a few live things that I think you really should check out, and as I mentioned, as such a great live artist as he is, these are very worthwhile. The first is this Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. This is a live recording of an in-store record appearance he did at Twist and Shout Records in Denver. This was very hard to find on CD for a while, but it was reissued. I think it's Record Store Day. For the longest time, I only had it digitally because you couldn't find a copy. It is also now out on vinyl. Got some of his song. He's got Danko Manuel on it from his Drive-By Truckers Day, which is a great song, and also has an outfit too. Another one of his classics from the Truckers Days. But it's also got a neat cover of Van Morrison's Into the Mystic on here that is definitely worth checking out. So you need to add this one to your collection. Now, right before Southeastern and the beginning of the Dave Cobb era, Jason played a couple of live shows in Alabama. He played in Birmingham and in Huntsville, and yours truly went to the Huntsville show that's on this disc. And we came out with the aptly titled Live from Alabama. A great document of Jason live, pre the Dave Cobb era, and also before Sadler Vaden was his guitar player. Great record. It's got another great cover. Jason does great covers, doesn't he? Great cover of Neil Young's Like a Hurricane on here closes out this record. So sometimes I just love exploring Jason's live shows and looking for some covers that he's done. But definitely need to pick that one up. Also out on vinyl too. Now this one is not on vinyl nor CD, it is a DVD, and here's your fantastic document of the Southeastern tour, and that's Jason and the 400 Unit, and there they are, the 400 Unit on Austin City Limits. So get this, pop this in the DVD player, again along the lines of covers. They close out with the Rolling Stones' Can't You Hear Me Knockin'. It's fantastic, so check that one out. Now, we talked about Jason's annual run at the Ryman and hoping maybe we'll see one late October this year. Who knows what's going to happen? Remember, this is the guy who just said that I want to be an artist who can play arenas but doesn't have to play them. And that's exactly what Jason is doing. Rather than doing 1 or 2 nights at the Enormo Dome, in town here it's the Bridgestone Arena. He plays a weekend run at the Ryman, and he put out the aptly titled Live at the Ryman. Now, while I love listening to this, and the recordings are great, the songs are great, I'm sort of an old school guy with my live records. I like the performance. This is a compilation of songs from different nights, not in the running order of the show, and I like to hear the shows. That's just me. And if you like to hear just the shows, and not saying you don't want to own this as well, it's on vinyl, some nice colored versions too, go to nugs.com, and Jason's on Nugs now, and there's a lot of live shows, probably about 20, 25 live shows there that you can download at a reasonable price. You can also be a subscriber to Nugs and listen to them, and it's kind of fun to go through them. And again, I love looking for the encore songs. I've actually made myself a nice little compilation CD, downloading those encore songs off of mostly these great cover versions, and putting them together, and it's been fun to listen to. But one last thing, and this is really a surprise. I was listening to Reunions, a new record on Spotify, before I got my copy in the mail, and when the record ran out, all of a sudden this live version of the song Stockholm from Southeastern came on. I'm saying, where is that from? And well, I did my investigation, and it's from this Warren Haynes benefit concert CD that came out in 2014. Now, it's a CD DVD, and the CD has 2 live songs with Jason and the 400 Unit. It's got Stockholm and it's got Danko Manuel, but there's 4 live videos on the DVD. They also add Cover Me Up and Super 8. So definitely want to pick this one up if you're a Jason completist, and add that to your collection. This was fun. Please, like I said, I love all those 7 records, and it's just wanted to put myself to the test of seeing how they would fit in an order. Let me hear, if you're a big fan, what your order might be. And also, thank you for your supporting this project. Please, when you go to my YouTube channel, hit like, share these on your socials, and hit that subscribe button, and hopefully we'll bring you some more. But this is Mike from Music City, and thanks for listening.